welcome to the tutorial on how to build the cannon that you've seen in live streams, and also the slightly updated version. I think I used roughly the same on my last live stream that I've just done. So I'm going to show you how to build them, not so much how to use them, that was mainly the last video. So these ones are literally how to build them, and yeah, let's get started. We're going to be using Weld Edit this time as well. So yeah, we're just gonna, this is basically to show you how to build them, you know, not necessarily how to use them in general. So 2 blocks in front of the barrel, always got into the habit of doing that. Part of the reason is because when you're tunneling, what you want to do is have some water in front of it. Okay, the water comes in extremely handy, especially if, say, you're firing at the blocks here. What you want to do is have this going across the top like so. Like that. Then all you do is put water across the front of it, comes down the front, and it just protects the front of your cannon. Simple as that. Okay, so those are the 2 blocks in front, and now it's a 9 by 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And done. Next part. Normal piston. There, those are the realigners. Dispensers, 6 long. And for this tutorial, we'll be doing the same height as the one I've shown in the previous video, so it's going to be 12 high total. Boosters are, count 1 block out, and then boosters are 2 high. 3 lots of them, like so. And then here you just basically fill in the gaps. So we end up like that. Now you go here and grab some slabs. So below this piston here, 1 slab here, break a block there, slab there, and this line, break it all the way up, place a slab, and 3 dispensers on top of that. Then you count 1 block here, next block along, break that one, and then all the way up. Grab sticky pistons, block, sticky, block, blocks on top of those, sticky, and a block. Block that there. And then these, what we'll do is have probably the same height as that one. I did add an extra line on top, so we'll go 6 high. Done. Next thing we need is ladders. 1 there. Place them on top of that. The propulsion as well. Into the barrel. Now, because we're stacking and slab busting to start off with and hybriding, I want to place blocks in these 2 parts here, okay, and leave that one empty. Now we're going to stick guiders in as well. So 1, 2, 3. Just got to make sure this slab comes in front of where the sand is going in. Okay, so literally 3 slabs across the top along this line here. And for the scatter, slab bust, 1 dispenser, so it dispenses on top of this slab here. Okay, top of the boosters, place a ladder as well, and then what we'll do is cap off the ends on the propulsion, so. And I'm going to stick 2 ladders here to make sure that the TNT stays in the boosters and doesn't get moved slightly out or anything along those lines. Now we're going to start wiring up. On the boosters, 1 repeater on full. Count them up like so. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You're basically mimicking it, so it's exactly the same on both sides. Like so. Start connecting up the propulsion to 1 line along here, and it's in complete line with the dispensers, but then add 1 more block, grab some glowstone, and then place a glowstone on the end, and then down on the right hand side, 2 blocks behind it, and then connect it up with 1 repeater there, 1 repeater there, put them together. This one goes on full, this one stays as it is, okay? Repeater, and then hook it up with redstone torches, and that is pretty much the basics of doing it all the way up, and then we're just going to weld it the rest in. That's propulsion done, and I would have said done, but it's not. 5 up, damn it. Okay, that's the propulsion all connected up, boosters connected up, and next we'll do all the timing for the pistons over that side. So I'll start off here and then do 10 repeaters. And put them all in full. Now here what you want to do, redstone, repeater, redstone, and 2 more repeaters. Put them all on full. Then 1 more repeater on the end there. These 2 are for the rear liners. Put down 2 next to each other and then connect them up to here. Be careful not to place one here, because it'll just activate off the redstone torch. Okay, 2 blocks coming off the bottom piston for the sand. 1 block here. This one goes on 2 ticks. Redstone, redstone, and 1 more repeater there going into the block. Now for this part, what we're going to do, normally break that block. 2 blocks coming out on there, 2 blocks out coming out on the side of that one. What we'll do is repeater here on 1 tick, redstone coming down, repeater here on 0 ticks, and then connect this up here, and repeater here on 1 tick also. And this piston we only use when we're upwarding, so for the moment at least, because we're going to be stacking etc, we're going to disconnect it. Now here is one way you can connect it up. It doesn't seem to work on all servers, which is really annoying, really, to be honest. That is the cleanest way and simplest way of connecting up the top piston for the sand, okay, which will release the sand in there. It's the easiest way to do it, but it doesn't work on all servers, and it doesn't work on this one either. It does work on Woodycraft, however. Okay, so on Woodycraft that does work. Sadly, it just doesn't work on here. Bit annoying, but you know, it is what it is. So just connect it up like that. Any kind of combination like that, as long as the redstone signal goes to there from through this block, you're absolutely fine. Go. All we're going to do is connect up the scatter TNT and also the TNT that we're going to be using for the slab busting. So for the moment we're probably not going to be using it, so if you're stacking and hybriding you won't need to use it, or if you're tunneling, use the hammer. Okay, use the hammer to tunnel, don't use the scatter. It's a bit inconsistent and you'll get a better hole and bigger hole if you use the hammer. Okay, it looks good. Now the last thing to do is connect up the hammer. So go to the block next to the first, so you've got the first dispenser there, go to this one here, place a block, and all you're doing is putting the signal around like so. Redstone torch on that side, redstone torch there, redstone, 1 block here where you can put a repeater, and then glowstone. And then it's the same all the way up. So even if you need to make a larger hammer, or you're going to be stacking more sand, all you need to do is extend it. The maximum amount that you can extend it is up to 14 high. Because after 14 high, what happens is the redstone signal runs out. Now we're going to connect up the hammer. So from here, a couple of blocks going out that way, a couple of blocks going out that way, bring it out, connect it up here, and just connect it up to the propulsion wiring as well. So one repeater coming out to connect to these parts, then redstone coming out. One line in the connection needs to be 2 repeaters. The other side needs to be 3. 1, 2, 3. So when you're stacking and slab busting, what you want to do is have it connected this side. When you're hybriding a wall or you need a real delay on the hammer, connect it up to this side, and yeah, longer delay on the hammer. Okay, so on a general basis, if you're tunneling, etc., have this one connected. On a general basis, you just need 1 tick on there. If you're doing a 20 chunk raid and you got, say, this amount of propulsion, or you choose to have, or you're going on about 30 chunks and you've got an extra 2 lines on each side, then the most you would have to do during the raid is change it up to a max of that. I've never, on a general basis, I've only had to change it to that or that. But then again, on Woodycraft, chunk limit of 20, and I find this fires fine on 30, and that's the max I've had to do on it. So now that we've got that connected up, we're just going to water the cannon, and then it's ready to fire. So 1 bit of water there going down the hammer, water along here, and done. The one thing you got to remember to water, which I have forgotten in the past, and it's not very good when you forget because it blows everything up at the back. Boosters, make sure you remember to water them. I have forgotten in the past, and it doesn't end well, trust me. So 1 bit of water there, 1 bit of water there. Do not place water here because this is where the sand and cobwebs are going to go, and what will happen is the water will flow in there and break the cobwebs. 1 bit of water there, and then just water the rest of the barrel, and done. I've always got into the habit of getting a bit of sponge though and sticking it at the front of the cannon just to make it tidy. So if it's especially if it's in the sky or something, if someone sees your cannoning and you've got it claimed, instead of pillaring up on the side and stuff, what they might do is come up the water, and yeah, that can be a bit annoying. So usually best to sponge it off, and yeah, and that is pretty much it. This cannon is nearly complete. All you need is a button, and that's it. Okay, so this next one is the one-shot version, and I'm just going to show you it working quickly. And this is the wall that we canned in the previous tutorial. What I'm going to do is just set this up and fire it. And done. So basically all 3 aspects of the cannon are going off at the same time. You've got a slab bust, the stack, and the hybrid, so it just hybrids the wall there. Nice and easy. Now what I'm going to do is build it nice and quickly, same as what I did with it with this one, but pretty much all of these kind of settings and timings pretty much the same. There's only a few adjustments, and obviously the one-shot TNT doesn't come through like the through a different dispenser or anything like that. What it does is actually come from the top of the hammer and then come in. Okay, so yeah, let's get started. So again, front of the barrel, we're going to go this way around. Front of the barrel, I always do 2 blocks, and then again these are 9 in, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 5 high. Again, exactly the same setup as the other one. Now there is a few differences in the barrel, not that much really to be honest overall, but still put a slab there. Now these 2 put slabs on, 2 slabs there, break this all the way up, and this time 3 dispensers on both there. Okay. Now you don't want to move the hammer all the way over to here. What happens is once you're firing up to about 20 chunks, if you're only 12 high, 6 on the propulsion, what you might find is it slightly dips a little bit on the top and starts hybriding one block lower, and you will end up in a clipping situation. So instead, what I do is I keep the hammer in exactly the same place, and what we'll do is stick a bit of sponge over here, which will actually stop the water from coming in and destroying the cobwebs. So again, exactly the same setup, and we'll do 6 high. So 6 high, exactly the same as the cannon we've just built, except I'm going to add an additional 2 on top, and those two, this additional 2 that goes on top will be the ones that we use to hybrid the wall. And same guiders as well, and only 3 blocks. So this sand here, okay, this one here does not have the slab in front of it. This one does have the slab in front of it, and where the dispenser goes for the TNT that's going to do the slab busting is also slab above it. Okay, so that's the important part. Slab import in front of this one, but not a slab in front of this one. Okay, now again we're going to place blocks here because we're going to be using this piston on top, and then we're going to do the propulsion. So again, 6 long. I'm going to make it 12 high. One block, and then these dispensers 2 high for the boosters. And we'll cap it off at the back. And the front of the propulsion. There's some ladders. This ladders across the top. Same on the hammer down. And then down here, again, ladders there, and ladder on the boosters there. Okay, next part, wiring up. Same as the other cannon. One repeater at the back of each booster on full. Then 3 going out this way, 3 going out this way. All 3 on full. And then the wiring for the propulsion, again 6 long, so same length as the length of the dispensers, so 6 long. 1 extra block on the back, glowstone, and then glowstone down to the side of it. 2 blocks, 1 repeater here, 1 repeater there. Connect them up, and this one goes on full. Repeater here, redstone across, and redstone torches. Exactly the same on the other side. Here you're going to have 10 repeaters. All of them go on full. Redstone, repeater there, redstone, and then 2 repeaters. All of these go on full. Then we're going to connect up the rear liners, connect them up. Then 1 repeater on 0 ticks. 2 blocks coming out from the bottom piston for the sand, and also 2 coming out from the one that will be the hybrid shot. Connect them both up. Now this is the difference between the other cannon. This one goes on 2 ticks, this one goes on 1 tick. Now we're going to connect those up. So 1 repeater there as well on 0 ticks, another repeater here on 0 ticks, break that block, 2 blocks coming out, 1 here on 1 repeater here on 1 tick, and then connect it up. We'll connect up the hammer, or the piston that is for the hammer, like so. put it on one tick as well, so both of these should be on the same. And because we're not upwardsing at the moment and we're only using the hammer itself to hammer down, we're going to get rid of a piece of redstone there, so we're disconnecting this bottom piston because we don't need to use it yet. Now here, 2 blocks, 2 repeaters, both of them on normal, so on no timing, and then we're going to connect up with a sticky piston. So, the repeater on this side, and then connect up the repeater like so. So when it gets activated, you can see the 2 pistons at the top pushing out, which will get rid of the cobweb and allowing the sand to fall. And that is it for this side. So around the other side, we're going to connect up the hammer. The hammer is connected up in the same, exactly the same way again as well, except there's a slight difference, and it'll be the way we connect up the top ones. Okay, the top ones we're going to connect up a little bit differently. Still have the glowstone going up, and we still have the general layout here and have them connected up. But because they're going to be used to hybrid the wall, we need an additional delay on them. So instead of coming out and being connected like all the other ones with the single repeater going into them, what we're going to do is have 3 repeaters coming round on full ticks, and that will add as our hybrid. Now what you can do is, if you're tunneling for example and the stack is extremely small and you get like a bad shot for example, you can reduce this timing, okay, so that it stacks and hybrids the wall extremely quickly. That is very useful if you're going for a sky base for example and they've made a mistake on like their trays, so then you can stack on their trays for example, and you're only stacking like 10 sand. If the shot screws up or you forget to put a cobweb in or something like that, with this on this timing, what will happen is this hammer down hybrid TNT will fall down and then break the platform, and you'll end up having to stack normally up to the sky base. So it can be worth reducing it. Okay, so reducing it even down to say there or there. Okay, by reducing it by that amount, what will happen is the hammer will go off, do the stack, and then it will pretty much explode nearly instantly. Okay, so if the sand didn't go with a shot, then what would happen is this TNT will explode, but won't explode the platform that you're making use of, i.e. a vulnerability in their base. Okay, but for the moment we're just going to leave it on full anyway. Now here is, we're just going to connect it completely up, because we've got it connected up at the top for the hybrid and that for the stacking. You don't need to make any adjustments to this, okay? Well, you don't need to have it set up where you're going to have to break any blocks or anything like that, because you are literally just taking out one wall at a time. So as you can see here, 3 repeaters, that's all you're going to need. And if you need to adjust it at all you do is adjust it for 1 tick or 2 ticks maximum, depending on how many chunks you're going to be firing. But yeah, once it's connected up, you won't need to change this at all, unless you need to change the delay on the amount on when the hammer's going off, and that's pretty much it. Last thing to do is the slab bust. Now the slab bust is the awkward one, the really awkward one. And it's awkward because, I mean, you have to get the timing just right. If the timing is off, it's not gonna slab bust correctly. And I'll give you a good example. Now here, this is the timing that's absolutely perfect for this distance, for this cannon, and the amount of propulsion we got. Okay, and also the height of it. Remember, if you're stacking more and more, you're gonna have to add that additional tick. So if you're stacking like triple the amount that we're stacking here, you're gonna have to add an additional tick or so. So it's actually worth testing it on a cannon server first, then doing it on the server that you're going to be raiding on, so it will save you time in filling around and playing around with the settings. But this one is absolutely perfect. So what it does is hammers down, explodes, and then stacks. Okay, it's a very short. It is literally one. This kind of height is about a one tick difference. So you need to get that one tick on. But of course, water the propulsion. Remember to water the booster. Do not forget this. I have. Doesn't end well. Water the barrel. So one here, one here. You're going to be able to place one here, and you'll find out why soon. Place water along the barrel itself. Go up top. Go to the hammer. And place water down there as well. Going to make the front look tidy by grabbing some sponge, sticking that down there, and I think we're pretty much set. Now here is where I place a piece of sponge. Okay, so I'll place a bit of sponge there. Okay, and I just accidentally, I didn't mean to place a bit of sponge there though, to be honest. Place a couple of blocks here to get rid of the water here, and because I placed that extra bit of sponge, I actually got rid of some of the water there. So remember to put it back. Water here, and yeah, it's absolutely fine here. If you want to stick it here, it will actually make absolutely no difference because it won't update the blocks. So now that that is all watered, this won't get watered because you've got that sponge there now, and it will stop the water from flowing down it. Now you've got a completely watered up barrel, completely watered up hammer, and you're pretty much ready to fire. And of course, stick a button at the back. Make sure it's a stone button. And that is it. Cannon done. Now I will show you about the slab bust very quickly. So we're going to get some sand, get some cobweb. And what you want to do is cobweb here, cobweb there, cobweb here, cobweb there. And I know you can see some trapdoors down there. The only reason that those trapdoors are there is not because of this cannon or the way it functions or anything. The only reason the trapdoors are there is because I was upwardsing with this cannon earlier, and yeah, I just didn't take them out of the cannon, so I left them there. The cannon's working fine with it there anyway, so you know, pure laziness, put it down to that. So I'm going to put a stack of sand on here and the hybrid sand. Hammer and everything is turned on. Now the slab bust, because I've just put the slabs back, I'm going to change it. Okay, so what we're going to do is add an additional repeater. So add an additional repeater on full. Okay, and hit the button. As you can see, it didn't stack at all. What actually happened, the slabs are gone. It made a nice little hole over there instead. So it's made a nice little hole over there. The slabs are gone, but the only reason that the slabs are gone is that the hybrid TNT from the hammer dropped down and blew up the slabs. Okay, that's the only reason why it's now gone. Other than that, yeah. So the timing is because of the timing of the slab bust. If you get the timing of the slab bust correct, then it's not a problem. If it's slightly off, it won't stack properly. So some of the time it is literally just trial and error. You've got to play around with it and get it to the perfect tick for it to work.